Now on 7 News, at least 40 confirmed deaths and hundreds unaccounted for in western North Carolina after Helene.
An up-close look at some of the heartbreaking damage in Asheville as crews work to salvage what's left.
And in the Upstate, the recovery efforts go on. Our live team coverage continues with the latest from Spartanburg and Greenville counties. In Lake Lure, North Carolina, town officials say firefighters and staff have been going door to door to rescue people. Take a look at some of the damage left by Helene. The water is considered to be unsafe now because of debris, propane, and gas. If you don't live in Lake Lure, town leaders ask you to avoid the area.
Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, October the 1st, 6:30 is the time. I'm Olivia Donnelly.
And I'm Fred Cunningham. Thanks for joining us. We continue to follow the aftermath of Helene, and we begin in western North Carolina.
7 News' Kelsey O'Donnell is in Asheville at Biltmore Village with a look at the damage.
A mandatory curfew remains in effect for several western North Carolina counties, including right here in Buncombe County. One of the hardest hit locations, the Asheville area. We're at Biltmore Village, about a block away from the Biltmore Estate. You can see here behind me, crews have brought in work lights to light up this area that still does not have power. It is covered in inches of mud after floodwaters rushed through this area. You can see over here, we're going to pan over, there's businesses, restaurants that have completely had their windows blown out from those floodwaters, and you can see directly through the buildings there. Again, inches of mud just packing into the street here and inside of these buildings, along with miscellaneous items scattered throughout. I'm going to get my photographer to pan up the street here, give you a wider view of what it looks like here in Biltmore Village. Complete destruction. It's hard to put into words what we've seen today and how tragic this has been for this tight-knit community. There have been businesses and restaurants. You can see signs just ripped to shreds and scattered throughout this area. Over to the left, we'll pan over Moe's Restaurant, completely blown out, and you can see directly through that as well. And to show you the sheer power of these floodwaters, you can actually see a tractor trailer that was lifted up and taken downstream and flipped onto its side here in Asheville. It's just one of several vehicles that we've seen, too many to count out here. Still thousands of people remain without power in western North Carolina. Buncombe County officials confirmed with us at least 40 people were found dead here, and there are still hundreds that are unaccounted for. While this storm has passed, its impact is going to be felt for many years to come. Reporting in Asheville, I'm Kelsey O'Donnell.
Right at 6:33, our team coverage continues. 7 News' Taylor Farmer is live in Greenville County. We'll get the latest on the recovery in a moment, but we start with Christine Scarpelli. She's in Spartanburg County. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Fred. Yeah, right at a neighborhood near two very busy highways, 221 and 295 here in Spartanburg. We were notified about these neighborhoods. There's a Mills Drive and a Woodley, I believe we're on right now, because neighbors have been out here for days trying to clean them up. Much of it they've come out with chainsaws themselves, they say, and cleaned a lot of the roads, so there's at least one lane to get by, to get out to a lot of the highways. A lot of these very large trees had to be moved, of course, by professionals and experts out of the road. A lot of marks here, you can see that they've been damaged. There's also a lot of branches and limbs down. Emergency officials say if you're out here, make sure you're safe doing it, wearing the gloves and covering much of your skin, so if you do get a scrape or a bruise, that it is not something that can really injure you. Also assessing the damage, taking a lot of pictures. Emergency officials say that is key. There is an app, SC Emergency Manager app. That's the app that you can use to take those pictures, get those assessments before you pay for anything. Also cleaning up any damage and debris out of the roads. Take a listen.
Just get all woody or vegetative debris to the right-of-way, which is the area between the pavement and their property line. Pile it up there, keep it away from the mailbox so that when the mail service does start back up, they can access that.
Some really easy instructions there. Using that app to plug in pictures and plug in your information. They say don't really sign anything unless you have to make emergency repairs, and then keep all of your receipts. Again, hearing from neighbors in this area, they say a lot of the trees snapped, as well as the utility poles in half, and they had to come out and clean up the damage. Back to you guys.
Christine, thank you. We have more team coverage following the recovery efforts. 7 News' Taylor Farmer is in Greenville County tracking the damage. Taylor.
Olivia, good morning. Greenville saw a ton of flooding with the storm. Unity Park was one of the hardest hit areas. You can see this sign here is pretty large. These letters are about 9 feet tall. For reference, I'm 5'7". Here's where I stand against this sign. Now, after the storm, water levels were almost completely over this sign. Greenville officials tell us that the river here by Unity Park peaked at about 16 feet compared to just 1 feet of water before the storm. I spoke with Greenville County officials prior to Hurricane Helene hitting our area. They told me they went around the county, clearing draining ditches, doing all they could to prevent severe flooding. But parts of Greenville, especially these low-lying parks like Unity, Falls Park, and Cleveland Park, still saw historic flooding. While conditions are starting to improve, crews are still asking for your patience. The city of Greenville says Public Works took over 500 calls yesterday to assist residents with questions and concerns.
Since Friday, when I was in the field, it is devastating. This is not Katrina, but I'll tell you, it's one minor step down from what I saw in western Mississippi.
As crews work to restore power in our area and clear debris, Greenville Water has confirmed there are no issues with water supply. Live in Greenville, Taylor Farmer, 7 News.
Thanks, Taylor. 6:36. The latest now on power outages. Duke Energy reports more than 600,000 in the Carolinas. About 400,000 outages are in the Upstate. 67% of customers in Greenville County have no power. It's about 81% in Spartanburg County and 54% in Anderson County. Duke still projects the majority of customers will get service back by late Friday night. Checking other providers, Blue Ridge Electric reports about 40% of its customers are without power. Lawrence Electric is at 51% and estimates some customers won't get power until October 7th. 53% of Broad River Electric is still in the dark.
We've learned more school districts are closing because of Helene's aftermath. Greenville County, Cherokee County, and all Spartanburg County districts will be closed for the rest of the week. That means no e-learning on those days. All of Anderson County and their school districts will be closed today and tomorrow. No e-learning there. We have a full list of the closings scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
All right, thanks, Olivia. It's now 6:37. Let's take a look at your weather on this Tuesday morning, first day of October, and it's a cool start to the morning. Low 60s in the Upstate, low 60s for western North Carolina, and for most of us, it's a clear start to our morning. We're a little less than an hour away from sunrise, and we'll be in and out of the clouds through the first part of the day, but overall, a dry, sunny day heads our way across the Upstate and western North Carolina. Great looking view of the sky just before sunrise over downtown Greenville. We are cloudy with a few foggy areas in downtown Anderson. The story for today, a mild to cool afternoon as highs are back to the low 80s in the Upstate, mid 70s today in the mountains. And we will be talking about our weather for the rest of the week coming up in our 7-day forecast. Right now, though, let's check in on our live drive traffic.
Thanks, Malachi. 6:38 is the time, and a check of our travels here in the Upstate, South Carolina. We are in good shape as far as roadways, our interstates are concerned, mostly free of debris. Your neighborhoods, though, probably not looking the same. CPW will be out there over the next couple of days cleaning up some of that debris so we can work to open our roadways completely. You'll notice the roadways in western North Carolina are showing purple. That means that the roadways are closed. That is a good reminder to you this morning. Unless you are emergency personnel, you are asked to avoid the area and consider the roadways closed to regular drivers. This is a look right now over toward I-385, mile marker 33.5 through the Simpsonville area. And if you are headed on Interstate 85 over by Pelham Road, we're in good shape this morning. Fred.
Happening today, some schools in Anderson County will open their doors, offering food and a place to charge your phones. 5 schools in District 4 have power. That includes LaFrance Elementary in Pendleton on William Street. The doors will be open today and tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 3. Food will be served between noon and 1. District 4 officials say they want to provide a safe space for the community.
We know that there's a lot of vulnerable people in our community, and we wanted to provide a safe space for our families and our community if they needed a place to go to get cool, charge some devices, or just see some other people. And then being able to add the food in is just a bonus.
The same services will be offered today and Wednesday at Pendleton High, Mount Lebanon Elementary, Pendleton Elementary, and Townville Elementary. The district served more than 570 meals yesterday. Coming up, as the recovery continues in the Carolinas, there are people looking to take advantage of you. 7 News consumer anchor Diane Lee is here to help by breaking down storm scams. It's 20 before 7. There's a hint of the sunrise coming to downtown Greenville. You're watching 7 News.
Whether it's price gouging or shoddy construction, we have to be cautious right now as we seek help.
And we're already seeing some issues. And if you look at recent storm history, other scams are likely to follow. 7 News consumer anchor Diane Lee has more.
At a time when so many of us are dealing with major home repairs, days of no power, long lines at the gas station, and far worse, there is another concern emerging: post-storm scams.
We see a bunch of scams online, and we try to pay attention to that, where people are going places and buying generators that are normally sold for $899, and they're selling them for $1,700, $1,800.
Greenville County Sheriff Hobart Lewis says you should be cautious when buying generators from strangers. Even more concerning, as homeowners work to get damage repaired, the potential for construction scams like the ones that have hit homeowners time and again after hailstorms. Be cautious with companies who show up at your door, offer lower quotes, don't show proof of being bonded and licensed, require full payment up front, and don't provide a detailed written contract.
Guys, inside.
Whether or not you have home damage, everyone is dealing with long lines at the gas station, some worried about price gouging. Upstate officials say so far any claims on social media have been false.
There was one store in particular that they put $9.99 up on the sign overnight. That was not done by the store. Somebody rearranged the numbers on the sign. No, it's selling for, I think you'll see an increase in the next week. Certainly, by cents. I don't think it'll be $1 or anything like that.
Diane Lee, 7 News.
South Carolina's price gouging law is now in effect. If you think stores are unfairly charging too much for gas or generators, you can report them.
You'll want to note the time, the place, address, and the price, as well as the prices nearby, and make sure that you do take photos. We've posted a link on how to report instances on our help page at WSPA.com/consumer.
Next on 7 News, more on the recovery after Helene in the Upstate in the mountains. We look at how people are making it without power and hot water days after the storm.
We'll have a check of your weather and your live drive traffic when 7 News returns.
Welcome back, everyone. It's now 6:48. We take a look at your Tuesday morning weather on this Tuesday, first day of October, and we're looking at a partly sunny day, mild temperatures for your afternoon. Good looking day. Low humidity, highs upper 70s, low 80s across the upstate, mid 70s in the mountains. We're sunny and dry with average temperatures over the next few days, if not a degree or two warmer than average, but overall very pleasant, very fall appropriate. And then as we head into the weekend, by Sunday, we see those temperatures fall even more. Low 70s for Sunday in both the upstate and the mountains. Right now we start out in the low 60s across the upstate. 63, a very popular temperature in Spartanburg and Gaffney, Greenville, Clemson, and Lawrence. At 65 in Greenwood, 60 right now in Hendersonville, 61 in Rutherfordton and Lake Lure, towards Tryon, as well as Asheville, right around 60 to 61 degrees as well. This is a great looking view of downtown Greenville as we head towards sunrise. Still about 25 minutes away from sunrise, but you can see it's going to be a great looking day across the upstate and the mountains. We're starting off with some fog over downtown Anderson. We have a good start to the morning. You see the sunrise starting to take shape in Seneca as well. Heading out the door, if you're out this morning, light jacket's probably not a bad idea, but a good looking day, short sleeve shirts, why not? Low 80s in the upstate, mid 70s in western North Carolina. These temperatures are pretty much where we should be for this time of year. Again, maybe a degree warmer than average, but as we go through the evening, temperatures fall from 70s to 60s, from 6 to 9 this evening on the clear skies in the upstate and the mountains. Low humidity, that means if you have to get outdoors, you're in great shape today. Again, just kind of take it easy. Low 80s today, tomorrow, and Thursday in the upstate. Upper 70s today, tomorrow, and Thursday in western North Carolina. We have a couple of fronts rolling through the area. But none of these fronts are bringing any rain our way. Instead, they're just going to bring a change in our wind direction and slightly cooler weather as we head towards the second part of the week. This is a pretty strong cold front that's going to be a very important front as we take a look at the developing system trying to get organized in the Caribbean. It has not formed yet, has about a 40% chance of forming over the next 5 days. But if it does, it would develop and then work its way into the Gulf of Mexico. But thanks to that cold front, it stays well to our south. The other tropical system has a much higher chance of developing. That's out in the open Atlantic, and that has about a 70% chance of developing. But the good news with that is that it stays in the open waters as well. So no impact on our weather whatsoever from those tropical systems. Instead, we enjoy sunshine, cool temperatures, low 80s and upper 70s through the end of the week in the upstate, and 70s through the end of the week in the mountains. All right, that's a look at our weather on this Tuesday. Let's check in on our live drive traffic.
Thanks, Malachi. Let's get you out the door for a check of our travels. 6:51, and this is a look at what our roadway maps will look like, which they're green and clear for the majority of us. Your side streets, your neighborhood's likely not the same story this morning. Make sure that you've got that debris to the side so that CPW can begin their cleanup efforts. We know that starts over the course of today and tomorrow in several of our upstate counties. 85, I-26, 385, Southern Connector looks good. Western North Carolina is considered closed. The roadways there so that emergency crews can continue their access to help some of the relief efforts. A reminder, majority of us don't have power. If you come into traffic lights without power, treat it as a four-way stop. Make sure that you are exercising caution at those intersections. Fred.
6:51, time to check your top stories. The recovery effort continues in Buncombe County after Helene. At Biltmore Village, state and national crews are starting the long job of digging out from thick mud and debris. Cars have been found scattered around the area. As of Monday morning, 40 deaths in Buncombe County are blamed on the storm. The work continues to clear roads and debris in the upstate. Many schools remain closed. The Department of Public Safety confirms there are 29 storm-related deaths in South Carolina. There have been 6 in Greenville County, 6 in Spartanburg County, and 4 in Anderson County. Duke Energy is reporting 668,000 power outages this morning in the Carolinas. About 400,000 are in the upstate. Duke Energy estimates the majority of its customers will have service back by Friday night. About half of Lawrence Electric customers are in the dark. Some may not have service again until October 7th.
I'd have to climb 6-7 foot tall piles of debris. I was up to my knees in mud and couldn't move.
Words from a dad committed to fulfilling his rightful duty to walk his daughter down the aisle. David Jones traveled for 7 hours from South Carolina to Johnson City, Tennessee. It was a 30-mile trek through flood debris, walking through the night with only his cell phone light to guide him. Despite deadly conditions, Jones made it to the wedding on time.
Walking 30 miles under any circumstances would be one thing, but wow.
In the dark?
In the dark?
Through debris and all that.
Girl dads.
Couldn't they have pushed the wedding a week, maybe?
Yes, couldn't Helene just not came and just, battered us? I get winded walking from the rock wall over to the desk, but 30?
Maybe he didn't want to, change everybody else's plans. I'll get there, and then revealed later how he did it. I don't know.
In downtown Greenville, we were at the station over the weekend in Camperdown. There was a wedding. There was a wedding across Camperdown, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I wonder when the guests came in. Yeah, right? Had to have been Thursday.
Yeah. But we had great weather over the weekend.
Well, once
you got past Friday, it was fantastic. So yeah. And again, hopefully none of those guests had to walk 30 miles through debris and flood waters.
We have so many issues, and yet the weather outlook just looks great.
Which is great. Which is what we actually need for the cleanup and the work for the people to get back to the power and getting everything back in order. So hopefully the weather is pleasant and it works in our favor.
We do have an update from Mike Morgan with Henderson County. They're going to have 6 resource hub locations today. That starts at 9 this morning for water distribution and supplies. We want to make sure that you're aware. Etowah Elementary, Rugby Middle, East Henderson High, North Henderson High, Mills River Town Hall, Fletcher Town Hall. You'll get supplies there, meal, water, asked to enter through the drive-through. Resource hubs, if you're going, you're supposed to remain in your car. So that'll be at WSPA.com. More 7 News after this.